Have you ever felt like you're living a life that doesn't truly belong to you? As if invisible hands are silently orchestrating your life, rewriting your priorities without ever asking for your opinion? Why is it that, as we grow older, we get swept up in unnamed expectations, responsibilities to shoulder, duties to fulfill, and emotional debts we sometimes don't even understand why we're paying? Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what happens when others start imposing demands on you, demands they have no rightful claim to make? And are you perhaps sacrificing your inner peace to preserve things that no longer align with your spiritual path? In this video, we'll reflect on 5 things no one should ever demand from you, especially once you've reached a stage in life where inner peace has become your most precious asset. Because anything that disturbs your inner world is not worth your time or energy. And when you truly recognize this, not only will you learn to protect yourself, but you'll also open the door to a more authentic life. Before we begin this journey, don't forget to subscribe to Mind and Meaning so we can continue exploring the deeper layers of the soul, of growth, and the path back to your true self. 1. Carrying what does not belong to your soul. In the journey of life, there comes a time when you are called to step away from the role of savior in stories that were never yours to begin with. Not because you've grown indifferent, but because you've begun to discern the difference between compassion and unnecessary self-sacrifice. You understand that to love does not mean to carry. And yet, there will still be people, consciously or unconsciously, who expect you to step in and hold their world together. At first, you agree out of kindness. Next time, it becomes expected. Gradually, it turns into a repeating pattern where you no longer get to choose. You become the glue that holds broken pieces together, not because you want to, but because no one else will step up. And when you try to withdraw, guilt becomes a chain, pulling you back in. But there's a truth you cannot deny. Carrying what is not yours always comes at a cost. Not just your time or energy, but the erosion of your soul, the dimming of your inner light, and the quiet loss of your true path. You were not born to be someone's safety net. You are not a backup plan. And you are certainly not meant to stand forever in the shadows, mending what was never aligned with your soul. Anyone who sees you as an unconditional support system, someone to carry the lessons they refuse to face, has crossed a boundary, because the more you carry someone else's journey, the more you lose your own. 3. Becoming a mediator in conflicts that are not your own. Family conflicts are a form of spiritual whirlpool, quietly powerful, pulling you into the eye of the storm even when you only want to stand on the shore. Please, talk to him for Mom. Dad, please make peace with my sister. Each plea may sound urgent, but behind them lies something far more dangerous. You are being pushed into the role of mediator in a play you never volunteered to perform. It may sound noble, the one who preserves harmony, who heals fractures, who helps the family find peace. But on the other hand, it is also the most vulnerable role. Because the one who stands in the middle is often the one who gets hurt the most. You become the center of expectations, blame, and sometimes even injustice. You exhaust yourself trying to calm everyone down while you no longer have any peace of your own to lean on. Imagine this. The place you once called home, once sacred, once a haven, now becomes a battlefield. Blood relatives turn their backs on each other over trivial matters. A piece of land, an heirloom, an old grudge never forgiven. And you, who only wish for some peace, are pulled into the center, forced to pick sides, forced to mediate, forced to preserve something that no longer exists. But what few dare to admit is, not every conflict needs a mediator, and not every relationship still wants to be healed. You are not here to bear the wounds caused by others. You were not born to be the bridge trampled upon between emotional abysses. The peace you seek is not in fixing others. It lies in knowing how to refuse roles that no longer align with your soul. You no longer owe anyone your sacrifice. And if you must choose between inner peace and a false exterior peace, have the courage to choose yourself. 4. When someone starts demanding you to change your true self. The distortion of the self never begins with a scream. It comes gently as a piece of advice. Don't wear that dress anymore. That type of music you listen to is kind of weird. You should soften the way you talk a little. At first, it may seem harmless, but beneath that polite exterior lies a toxic request. Stop being yourself, and nothing erodes the human soul faster than that. You didn't become the version of yourself you are today overnight. You are the culmination of countless years. Nameless losses, fleeting joys, painful mistakes, and the moments you rose from the ruins to love yourself again. Every hobby, every way of speaking, every small detail of who you are, they are sacred remnants of that journey. Yet, there will always be someone who comes along thinking they have the right to redesign you. They want you to become a more agreeable version, less disruptive, more in line with their own vision of who you should be. And they call it love. No, you are not a concept that needs to be remade. You are not a mold for them to pour their expectations into. Personal integrity is not stubbornness. It is a spiritual compass, guiding you so that you don't get lost in the voices that make you doubt yourself. Because if you start giving in little by little, each song you like, each color you adore, every laugh you once freely shared, soon enough, you will look in the mirror and no longer see anyone there. You are not stubborn. You are not too old to change. You are simply protecting something the whole world is trying to make you forget. That you, as you are, have always been enough and worthy of appreciation. Don't let anyone make you believe that you need to be fixed. Be yourself, because that is the most precious gift you can give to this world. 5. When the emotions of others are always placed above your own. There is a silent exchange that many don't realize until they've lost themselves. It is when the emotions of others always come first, while your own emotions are merely things to be adjusted, hidden, or abandoned. It often comes in the form of phrases that sound sweet. If you truly loved me, you would do this. Please, don't make me uncomfortable. But beneath that softness lies a cold command. Give up yourself so I can be at peace. And that is not love. It is manipulation wrapped in the silk of affection. When you have to shrink yourself so others can feel bigger, when you must dim your joy so they can feel comfortable, you are no longer living, you are existing in the role of a soother. But you were not born to be the one who puts out the flames of every emotional impulse around you. You are not an emotional pillow for someone to unload onto whenever they lose control of themselves. You are a living being, with a heart that can feel, with dreams, joys, and choices that deserve respect, not conditions attached to anyone else. Maturity is not about pleasing others, it is about knowing how to listen to yourself and having the courage to say no when it is necessary to protect your inner integrity. You have the right to feel happiness, the right to be comfortable in your own skin, and the right to refuse any request that demands you sacrifice your soul just to maintain a relationship. You are not selfish for putting yourself first. You are simply remembering a sacred truth. No one has the right to make you abandon yourself. These 5 demands, taking on responsibility, lending money, unsolicited mediation, erasing your essence, and suppressing emotions. Though they come in various forms, they all have one common outcome. They erode the stillness within you. And once peace has been depleted, we not only lose the ease in our minds, but also the ability to hear the true voice from within. Ask yourself honestly, who in your life has ever demanded these things from you? And why did you agree? Not because you are weak, but because you have a heart. Yet even a kind heart needs a protective boundary, because love should never come at the cost of self-sacrifice. You were not born to be the safety net for every fall, the treasury for hasty decisions, or the mediator in the shattered pieces that others have created. You were born to live with integrity, to maintain your boundaries without feeling guilty, to choose yourself without asking for permission from anyone. This is not coldness. This is awakening. It is strength born from experience and understanding. Now, I want to hear from you. Out of the 5 demands just mentioned, which one resonated with you the most? Have you ever experienced something similar? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you've listened until the very end, leave the word steadfast as a sign that you are present, awake, and choosing yourself on this journey. I read every single comment because every shared experience is a light that guides others. If this video has awakened something in you, please subscribe to the Mind and Meaning channel and continue to join us, because sometimes the hardest truths are the beginning of a return to self. Until next time, protect the stillness in your soul. It is not weakness. It is the most sacred treasure you've ever had.